NVIDIA says its newest open model is now available for commercial use in robotaxis and autonomous vehicles. That sounds like a downloadable robotaxi driver. It is not. Alpamayo 2 Super is real, unusually open, and potentially useful. But NVIDIA's own documentation describes something more specific, a very large foundation model for developing, training, and evaluating autonomous driving systems. The difference matters, because a commercially licensed model is not the same thing as a commercially deployed vehicle. So what did NVIDIA actually release, and what would we still need to see before calling it robotaxi ready? The released checkpoint is described as a 34 billion parameter vision language action model. It combines a 32 billion parameter Cosmos reasoner with a diffusion-based action expert. Its inputs are not just one forward camera. The public workflow uses synchronized images from multiple cameras, previous vehicle motion, and an optional text prompt. From that context, the model can generate a predicted path for the vehicle and a written chain-of-causation trace, describing why it selected that path. It can also produce high-level actions, yield, stop, change lanes, answer questions about a scene, ground objects with two-dimensional boxes, and generate structured labels for training data. And this is not merely a diagram. NVIDIA published the model weights, inference code, notebooks, and example workflows. The repository says the public inference path runs the trained reasoner and action expert. That part is meaningful. The word open is also more substantial than it often is in AI announcements. The model weights are released under OpenMDW 1.1. The accompanying source code is under Apache 2.0. OpenMDW allows modification, fine-tuning, derivatives, and commercial distribution, while requiring the relevant license and origin notices when model materials are redistributed. It also places no license conditions on outputs generated by the model. So a company can build on Alpamayo 2 Super, distill it into another model, and commercialize that result without asking NVIDIA for separate permission. But the license also provides the model as is, without a warranty of accuracy or fitness for a particular purpose. It grants permission. It does not certify a driving system, validate a safety case, or approve a vehicle for public roads. Commercially usable is a legal and development milestone. It is not evidence of commercial operation. The clearest clue is in the model card. NVIDIA's measured configuration used one H100 GPU with 80 gigabytes of memory. At batch size 1, with 7 cameras, 4 frames per camera, and 1 sampled trajectory, peak device memory was just over 72,000 megabytes. NVIDIA says other GPU architectures have not yet been validated for this full model. Its technical blog describes Alpamayo 2 Super as an offline policy teacher, an evaluator, and a data engine. It then says smaller models can be distilled from it to run inside a vehicle on Drive AGX Thor. That wording is important. The released 34 billion parameter model is the teacher. The compact onboard driving model is a later product of the development process. The public record we reviewed does not provide a full model frame rate, end-to-end vehicle latency, or a demonstration of this checkpoint running on automotive hardware. NVIDIA reports strong results. The model card lists a Lingo QA score of 79.2, an open-loop trajectory metric of 0.911 meters at 6.4 seconds, and an AlpaSim closed-loop score of 1.50 plus or minus 0.13. The closed-loop test is more informative than replaying a fixed recorded future because the simulated scene can respond after the model acts. But it is still a reconstructed simulation operated and reported within NVIDIA's release materials. We did not find an independent reproduction of these results at the time of review, and the public documents do not even use identical sample counts. The model card and technical blog report different totals for both the open-loop and closed-loop evaluations. That does not prove the scores are wrong. It means the exact evaluation record needs clarification before the comparisons can be treated as independently settled. Most importantly, none of these numbers is a public road disengagement rate, intervention rate, collision rate per mile, or safety case for an operating robotaxi fleet. The official material does show a useful development workflow. We can see synchronized camera views, a predicted trajectory, written reasoning, meta-actions, and auto-labeling examples. The repository connects those outputs to callable notebooks and code. So the narrow claim is verified. NVIDIA released a working foundation model workflow that can produce these classes of output on provided driving data. But an edited visualization cannot establish real-time control. It does not show the compute mounted in a vehicle, the control loop, fallback behavior, human interventions, repeated runs, or how often the model fails outside selected examples. The demonstration proves an output was published. It does not prove a robotaxi completed a continuous autonomous trip. Here is the audit. Verified. The weights, code, and permissive commercial terms are public. Verified. Alpamayo 2 Super exposes real workflows for trajectory prediction, reasoning, scene understanding, and data labeling. Claimed. NVIDIA's benchmark leadership and development speed improvements remain first-party results until independently reproduced. Unknown. Real-time onboard performance, intervention rate, public road safety, and production deployment in a commercial robotaxi. This is not a fake release. It may be an important open development platform, but the most defensible description is also the least dramatic. NVIDIA has released a large teacher and evaluation model for building autonomous driving systems, not a downloadable, road-proven robotaxi driver. The next falsifiable question is simple. Who will show a distilled system derived from Alpamayo 2 Super running continuously in a real vehicle, with latency, interventions, and failures disclosed? Until then, commercial permission is verified. Commercial autonomy is not. If you want robotics and physical AI judged by evidence rather than demos, subscribe to the Machine Audit.